Good morning, all. So I will admit that I was reluctant to sample the show in the beginning because Battlestar Galactica had such a campy connotation to me from the original series. But once I did, I realized how smart and sophisticated it was, and I got hooked in, and I try to tell everyone that I know that they should look beyond maybe their preconceptions about sci-fi because it's such a smart show. Now, I look at what the SYFY network is putting on.
The SYFY?
Yeah, I don't want to say sci-fi.
Because it's not?
Yeah, it's changed. So, you know, the Shark of the Week show. And I sort of wonder, you are all such a part of such a great, as I said, sophisticated, smart, dark, culturally relevant show. And do you think there's room for that on TV anymore? Is there an audience for smart sci-fi? And what do you think the legacy of your show is in terms of influence on shows to come?
Oh, they need it like never before, I think. You know, with privacy issues, and I mean, it's that whole 1984. Not to be paranoid about it, but those themes are very prevalent, aren't they? So I think it's time for something really probing.
Oh, yeah, I think that what happened, we discussed this yesterday a little bit. How many were here yesterday? Okay, we discussed a little bit of this yesterday, and this became a really strong issue. What happened with Battlestar Galactica is the same thing that happened with Blade Runner. Once Blade Runner came, no one really accepted Blade Runner at the very beginning. The sci-fi people did. But the rest of the public, the real, you know, hey, let's go see our movies, you know, public that was wanting to see Harrison Ford, who had made Star Wars, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and then Star Wars 2, what was it? Yes. He had done those three movies back to back. And so his fourth movie was Blade Runner. And in Blade Runner, he was not the resounding hero. He was getting his ass kicked every time he turned the corner by a replicant. I mean, they were just kicking the hell out of him. The women were kicking the hell out of him, and he would beat them, but he was getting beat up every time he turned around. Even in the final moments, you know, he was saved by a replicant. So they didn't accept that movie. Well, the audiences, the Harrison Ford audiences hated it. So it kind of went away very quickly. And then it got no acclamation in the United States of America. Then it came back after 4, 5, 6 years, all of a sudden it started to filter back. And now today, 30 plus years later, it's become one of the most prestigious and most extraordinary pieces of work. But it did set the tone from the beginning of what was about to happen to sci-fi. And from that moment on, things just changed. You know, he had done Alien, which was an extraordinary piece of work, and then Blade Runner had just taken it to the highest level. And so Battlestar has done the same thing for television and for storytelling. Now, we discussed how television changed after 2003, after Battlestar came out. It changed the course of Dark Man, the Dark Knight, and all the Batman went very dark, very real. Everything started to go dark and real. Everything. From 2003 on, you start looking at it, Superman went dark and real. You know, everything just boomed. It had that, and because of Battlestar. And I think today, sci-fi will only learn from its mistakes. The mistake it did was to destroy the sets for Battlestar. The biggest mistake they did was selling everything out because they're going to want to make more money. That's all they care about. And they know as well as I do that this franchise is not dead. It's far from it. You know, Glenn Larson. Leave it up to Richard Hatch and Glenn Larson. This place will never die. It'll go on being the most prolific story ever told. And Glenn deserves it. I think he really does. I think you're created a world that, of course, was reimagined, but boy, what a world it is. It's an extraordinary experience of understanding technology and the human species. Singularity is coming very quickly. All you have to do is read Kurzweil's book, you know, Singularity is Near, and you'll find that we're very close to being one with machines. There's not a person in here that doesn't have a machine with them. There's not a person in here that isn't 1,000 times smarter than you would be without that machine. Without that phone in your pocket.
We are naturally dummies.
I mean, when I Google, I feel smart. 1492. I'm not kidding you. I can recite the entire Declaration of Independence. Shit, I can read the Bible.
400 read by Siri.
So you ask about the impact and if sci-fi will, you know, move forward. Of course, I mean, sci-fi will never be the same after Blade Runner. Sci-fi will never be the same after Battlestar Galactica, the reimagined episodes that were done by Ron Moore and David Icke. This is something that will change, that has changed the course of the future of the art form. And I got to tell you, I'm so grateful. I am so proud and so grateful to be a part of this show. I can't even tell you. This was the best experience I've ever had on television in my life. And I've done a lot of work on television. I've done a lot of work on film. I mean, when it comes to Blade Runner, when it comes to this, I'm the luckiest guy in the fracking world.
And he felt like that every day at work. Really, so he's not just saying this now in retrospect. He was grateful and joyful and set the tone for the entire production, right, Kandyse?
Absolutely. He told us the very first cast read-through that we all had together. I remember you standing up and saying, listen, this is the best piece of work I've done in a really long time. This will be the best piece of work I've ever done. And this is going to be a long road, so keep your energy up and stay strong, because we're in this for the long haul. And we're all like, sweet.
And then we got Lindsay, and we all went through, Lucy and me, and we all went through the road. I tell you, this woman, when she came on the set, completely changed the course we were going on. Lucy had a reputation, and she was strong. But
I walked into so much expectation and not all of it good. And I was like, okay, bring it.
She knocked it out of the park and made everybody to go, whoa, my God. I got to tell you, the very first day that I saw you work was monumental, because it was right off the bat she was kicking ass. At the moment she walked on, and I said, boy, oh boy. Now, we had been working for a few episodes. So, you know, when Lucy came on and started to do this, she was like catching up. Kate Vernon had the same experience. She came in on episode 9. You came in on episode what?
I don't know. I thought I was like a season
2?
Late. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just coming in for a few weeks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A few
anyway,
episodes.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience.
I just remember you having so much fun. I remember doing a scene with you in the hallway, and I was like, wow, she's really, hold on.
Goof off as much as possible. Can you believe that people pay you to do this? You know, hang out, and they feed you even. Not many jobs actually feed you really well so much. Are you kidding me?
Mr. Olmos, you were fantastic in the Portlandia episode that was based on Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, Portlandia was great. And Lucy, you seem to get more beautiful every year. Sometimes I really think you are a sideline.
He's got a mummy complex.
I hope we get to see more on Parks and Rec this season too. Parks and Rec.
Oh, thank you, darling.
My question though is about the trick ending of Battlestar. When did you learn in the process about the trick ending, and what are your thoughts about it?
I don't know. Darling, ask that again, and who are you talking to?
I'm talking to everyone. The trick ending, when did you learn about the trick ending? How far in the process?
The trick ending.
Of the series, you know, I don't, well, you
Oh,
know.
as we were sitting on the beach, they go, okay, Lucy, sit down, you're not going anywhere. Were they quite secretive about it?
Oh yeah, season 4, everything is really tight with.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't.
Yeah, we didn't know anything until, we got the script. So, if you're saying, did we know about it? Or we didn't? No, not until we read it. The way you guys got the show, in other words, you sat down and said, okay, let's see what they did. Boom, and you saw the whole story unravel itself. Well, that's how we got it. Only we sat down and read it.
Yeah.
And so we would sit there and go, okay, you ready? Here we go. And they would pass out the scripts when we got there. So we'd sit there and go, okay, so you get today.
That's right. I remember now. Skip to the end.
And we would look at each other because they would tell us that we were going to die only a few days, if anything, before you were going to read it in the script. So, I mean, how long did you have before you found out?
Well, accidentally, 4 or 5 days.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
Ron called me a week later.
So they didn't tell you, in other words.
They didn't tell me, no. Gerald Hair and Makeup told me.
That's the first person that we see in the morning. We go into their makeup trailer and they go, oh gosh, it's so sad that you died.
He did. He was like, oh, hon, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's, I'm like, what? What happened?
Oh. How did he know? Why did they know?
He handed me the production draft and he was like, you should read this.
I walked in, she was in heaving sobs.
I did the same thing you did. I was reading the beginning of the script and I was like, no, this is good. This is great. Maybe he was telling me that I was going to be a Cylon or I got a better part or something cool was going to happen. Yeah, this is awesome. She goes on a date. I get to wear a dress. I love this. Oh. Hash wound? No.
It was intense. So the ending, the very, very ending of the show, we had that. We talked about this yesterday a little bit, but the ending of the show, we knew nothing about how it was going to end. Not a clue under the sun did we know how they were going to wrap this whole thing together. And Ron had kept it really close to his vest. We had no idea that we landed here 200,000 years ago. It was us that created you. And if you don't believe me, at the end of Battlestar Galactica, put in Blade Runner. Because the final scene of Battlestar is Six and Baltar walking downtown Times Square saying, Baltar saying this is happening before, it was going to happen again. And then, Six says that. And then Baltar says, I don't know, I think this time humanity has learned. And then it goes to black. And if you put in Blade Runner, it's 2019. That's in 2008 when they said that. Then you put in the Blade Runner, it's 2019, and lo and behold, they're the replicants, and we're off. Worse than before. But the key to the genetic structure of the 200,000 years before is in Gaff, my character. My character is Adama, comes here 200,000 years ago, and then breeds with all these different indigenous humans. And finally, 200,000 years later, out comes Gaff. Like, yeah.